Okay, people. So this is June 4th, I'm pretty sure. 2018. And the reason I say that is because last night I was up until like 4:30 in the morning uploading videos and stuff because somebody's trying to take down my videos. Right? So, and then I got up really early this morning. So, actually, I've only had like 2.5 hours sleep. And I was outside in the front yesterday, people. But, for some reason, I'm in this corner. So, today that is. Right? Because I said to my daughter, let me just go outside and work. I'm tired. If I'm outside, moving around, chances are I'll be okay. And this needs to be done before winter. And I don't want to put anything in here in terms of plants until I put the installation in here, because when my neighbor next door was moving out, they gave me a big bag of insulation which I plan on running. You can see, right, there's a big gaping hole in here, so I can run in there and then put a board all the way around there. That side, sorry for whipping the camera around, people, this side's already been done, as you can see. Right, this side is just going to be pure installation, and then you can see I'll have to do in there, and then over there, and then probably that wall too, and I have probably just enough. But you know, it's a big yard, people, and I've been really busy. So I had a young person that's at the house come and build me a compost, because the one that was here before, my son and I, we built it when we first moved in. So that thing had been sitting there for almost 9 years. So anyway, this young man, this was his first compost. I told him how to do it, and he did it, and it's pretty good. It's really sturdy, people. So I am going to be filling this up today with a lot of this stuff. There's that famous blackberry bush, needs to be trimmed down. These guys have been basically neglected this year. Fence fell down, but it managed to get repaired. So, and I have things that need to go in the ground and plant. So maybe we'll try and put something here. I've got beans and tomatoes in the greenhouse. I started some cucumbers, but they haven't sprouted yet. They're in there, but you can see there's some beans. And I have like a whole bunch of little tomato plants. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the insulation in there, put the wall on it, put everything back, and then take the same planter pots that I had last year, you know, add some nutrients to them, right? And start planting some tomato plants, because that worked out pretty good. And then I have to go in here. Planting holly doesn't really work very well. Even though holly is a very prolific plant, and you can find it almost everywhere, and the province considers it to be a nuisance plant in terms of it's too prolific, right? And it doesn't really serve a purpose outside of ornamental from time to time. So I noticed that transplanting it, it doesn't like to be transplanted because not too many took from last year. You can see, right? Look in here, people. Oh my God, it's just one big weed fest in there. So, do you see that big bag right there? That's where the insulation is. So I need to get up in there and get that out so I can clear this out. I have carpet in the garage that I want to lay down because I want to turn this into a like, you know, just a second, I wouldn't say a greenhouse. It used to be the hen house. There's that famous morning glory. Do you see it, people? Just as I'm pulling it, do you see it there? That's what my whole yard used to look like. Just as I'm pulling it in one corner of the yard, it's growing 3 times as fast in another corner of the yard. So anyway, we'll start with that. Hold on. And, oh yeah, I've been like transplanting a lot of trees, as you can see. I'm kind of nervous to show you because of, you know, the walnut thief, right? Right? I'm afraid that if I put this on camera, someone's going to come in and start messing with my trees, right? Because of the bullshit that goes on around here, right? Anyway, there's some beans. That needs to be trimmed down and cut. There's actually some onions in there, but besides that point. And then you see there's some more trees. My son trimmed down this tree, right? Okay, people. So do you see why I have to do this? It's perfectly fine. I just have to, they were chucking it out, right? I just have to put it in there now. Because I can't sit in a bag for another year. And then I've got that. Okay, people. So, this is like the good old days. When I used to do videos. Alright. I'm trying to make them informative. And I can tell you something, people. Watching the old YouTube videos, and like other people's YouTube videos, building greenhouses and stuff like that, it came in handy. Because I built a greenhouse. And now I'm continuing to insulate it, right? And because I want to kind of get rid of a lot of miscellaneous junk in the yard this year, in terms of stuff like this, right? Gotta use it up for what you brought home for. So I'm gonna try and seal up this greenhouse, insulate it a little better, right? Obviously this wall, we'll see. I think that insulation will be almost enough for one wall, and then maybe a little bit over there. And then, you know, I gotta run boards up in here, you know, insulate it more. A few more of these on the windows need to be done. So there's still things that need to be done. I don't have a lot of time, right? But if I don't do it, it won't get done. And so that's what I'm doing right now. Hold on. And of course my nose is just running and running and running and running. Okay, people. So it's actually going pretty fast. Only I'm extremely hot. Okay, so it's done. That was pretty easy. What I technically should do is take a 2x4 and run it through the bottom. But because this carpet is getting old, I'll wait, and plus I don't have time, right? And any wood I have around here, I need it for something else, probably more than I need it for this right now. This can be done at some other point. So now I'm going to start putting things back. Hold on. So, I'm going to show you why my nose runs all the time, people. I'm allergic to dirt now. Working in this yard for almost 9 years has made me allergic to perfume smells. I go into malls or offices or places like that, and every now and then I come across a whiff of perfume or something like that, right? And I start hacking. Nose starts running. My nose is running right now. I've been running for weeks since I got back out in the yard. But I have to do this, people. Do you see? I'm just getting it ready to put the insulation in here. Alright. Okay. So while I'm doing this, I'm wiping down the windows, right? But do you see this gap? So I'm going to try and fix that too today before I put this thing back. After I'm done with the hen house area, little seedling room, I may end up putting that in there, but before that happens, I have to clear it out. So this is going back against here, but before I do that, I'm going to go look for some slats and try and, where am I? Fill this up before I put the wall unit back. So anyway, people, I am like so sick with grief, you can't imagine how sick with grief I am. I'm so sick with grief, I don't know what to do. You know? I just don't know what to do. You know? I think this one will be okay. You see what I'm doing? My daughter made me some food. And when she does that, people, I just wolf it down and go right back to doing what I'm doing. Because I'm so far behind on everything. I get these panic attacks. And I really just want to get everything pretty much done this year. No money to pay anybody. I used to pay people all the time. Much more than what I do these days. I am paying some people right now. Miscellaneous odd work around the yard. Not very much though. I have to space it out. Right? And it makes it really hard. But, like I said, this year I want to move a lot of stuff out of here. You know, use it up like I'm doing today. Right? So I can fix up that area. I've already got a man booked to go in there and check all the, you know, the beams and make it strong, right? Because the rain is so corrosive, it eats everything. So I have to gut it out, right? And then the guy, he's going to go in there and do. And then we decide what I want to keep. And then make it nice, right? Where you can actually walk in there and use it. For whatever. There's a seedling room. And because it's more open than a greenhouse, it's not as hot. So you can grow different things in there. Depending on what it is. Right? And I'm having panic attack after panic attack after panic attack after panic attack. Because I'm so overwhelmed with everything. You know, it's just really hard to cope with, right? I feel good about life, you know? Never mind trying to stay positive. So that's why I'm like, you know, just, you're at the last tail end of the last mile with the yard, right? The last mile is always the hardest. So if I push it straight pretty much until October, November, should probably have it pretty much done. And then after that, just get rid of the junk that don't need it, right? In other words, use up all the bricks that I need, and then the ones I don't need. Well, I don't know about bricks. You can always tuck them away somewhere in a corner, because you never know when you might need those. But miscellaneous wood and try and clean the fireplace this year. Right? Burn it up there. Some of it. You see how fast I eat? Because every minute counts out here, people. You see how my nose is running? And I'm allergic to dust now. Dust, pollen, things floating around in the air, perfumes, sometimes cleaning solutions. Too much in the dirt in the last 9 years. I'll get a handle on it. Right. My son's friend dropped off some dirt. Oh my, there's a lot of dirt there. I don't know. I might have to take that dirt to the field. Right now I'm just spreading it around the yard, blending it into other dirt. A big pile of dirt. Because I can't afford to buy dirt, right? So I make a lot of dirt with my compost box. And then of course, soil erosion. So, I'm always having to replenish one way or another. Right? So anyway, this YouTube stuff with people trying to get my videos taken down under some privacy thing, well, that's a bunch of crock. Serious. That's nothing but censorship, right? Or dictatorship without having to go to court, right? You know what I mean? And they want to take it down, they can take me to court, right? Explain themselves. And because it's a corporation, more than likely, that did it, they got all the money, all the resources, and the dragon lawyers. So, it wouldn't be too hard for them to do that. Right? And if they start doing that, people, then people aren't going to be able to defend themselves, and you're never going to get the truth when people try and tell you something, because they're trying to hide it behind the things that they do that doesn't benefit families, as they tell you that it is going to benefit you, but it doesn't. What happened to Uncle John did not benefit this family, and it did not benefit Uncle John. All it did was isolate him, put him off into some corner all by himself at the mercy of, and he died an old, lonely old man, sitting in a diaper with fleeting moments of memories in the secrets of his mind when nobody was looking, so he wouldn't get reprimanded for remembering the kids, right? Because you have to remember, he was being reprimanded for remembering Shimei and the rest of the kids, right? He wasn't allowed to remember them. Yeah. And look at the memories centered around Shimei. And they're not very good memories. It would have been easier and better if they just would have pronounced her dead that day, right? Instead of dragging it out, doing whatever the hell it was that they did. And then have the audacity to come in and try and censor you about it. On the presumption of some voice that half the world is supposed to recognize. As if we're dealing with a famous leader, as in terms of a president or something like that, you know? You know what I mean? No, the world is just out of control. Serious. If I would have known, I mean, I can't really say this, people, because I wasn't in that situation. But let's just say, when I had my kids, right? 5 of them. If I would have known that the things were going to happen to my family the way they happened, and how it affected my kids, would I have still had them? You know what I mean? On the surface, I would say no, I would not have had them, because nobody deserved what's been happening to them in terms of outside influences negatively impacting the family unit. Whether it's, you know, back in 2003 when I was cut off of welfare illegally, you know, with 5 dependent kids, looking after Uncle John, and then having to go $40,000 in debt as I worked on a non-profit and looked after a little girl for free for the MCFD. Or whether it was, you know, my son turning into an alcoholic and my oldest daughter turning into a drug addict, right? To eventually Uncle John going missing and stuff that happened with Andre and now Shmee. You know, you don't have kids to have kids picked off one by one. I think of my grandmother. My grandmother had all her kids. The first one to go, though, was my mom at age 45. And my mom used to help my grandma all the time. My mom was the only one who really helped my grandma. And she was the first one to die at age 45, which was young. I was 25 when she died, which was young. And, but she still had her 4 other kids. And maybe they weren't the best, but they were still alive, right? And still kind of in her life. I mean, I sure in the hell didn't suffer from heroin addiction, and if they did, it wasn't like it is today. Because I heard rumors that my Auntie Jerry was addicted to heroin, but I don't know if that's true or not. Right? She was an accountant that kind of suffered from depression and liked to play bingo. But what people do in the privacy of their home, I don't know. Did you see how fast I ate that? It's a good thing I don't do too many talking and eating, right? Like a lot of those videos people do. I have just enough time to eat it, so I have energy. Remember, I'm running on 2.5 hours of sleep because of what this shit's going on with my daughter, and how I'm feeling about it, and how I feel helpless, and how I feel like nothing's going to get done, how I feel like my family's a sitting duck, how I feel like certain other people are going around lying and shit, and getting away with their lies. Just feel so overwhelmed. So overwhelmed that I can't even sleep. So this is what I'm doing. So I'll be back. So you see, people, it doesn't take much, right? And then I got an old piece of board here that I've cut and rinsed it off and just letting it dry a little bit. And then I'll put it on. And then when it heats up in here, obviously it's going to get dry, right? I'm trying to let the board dry a little bit before I put it on, right? Okay, so now I'm in this corner. Sorting out this crap. As my neighbors are probably spying on me. Okay. Again, I make my own dirt, people. Right, that's just best for me. Right. There was so many weeds in this yard. I needed a lot of compost, right? You know what I mean? I was throwing out just 50 bags of Morning Glory when I first moved in, year after year, and that was just Morning Glory in one growing season. That's how much this place was infested with that. Okay, so I'm just trying to keep this simple. I'm just taking out a few rocks right now from my planter pots. So do you see how I come into contact with this dust? I can smell it already. It's not bad, it's just I'm allergic to it now, right? Blackberry roots or something gonna grow in this. Anyway, you see, this is what I'm doing right now. Well, that board dries. I'm telling you, people, all I want to do is cry, and I can't. Maybe because if I start crying, I'll never stop. Who knows? Just right there. I want to cry. I can't cry. All right. I'm too stressed out. And I've never been in this situation before. I know lots of people have before me. I don't know. I don't know how they handle it. I don't know what you're supposed to do. See, these kind of things I just throw back into the compost. Right. Do you notice, people, how abusers like their victims to suffer in silence? Right? Because you're not allowed to talk about the abuse. No matter what kind of form it comes in, right? Like that video with my son talking about the abuse from those healthcare workers. We did nothing to those people. We didn't even know those people for them to be doing the shit that they were doing. Right? Which isn't much different than what they were doing with Uncle John. Right? I mean, they do what they want, right? But, you know, you're the abused person, so you're not allowed to talk about it. You gotta cover up your bruises, right? You know, you get underneath your burqa. Cover yourself up. You know, if you talk, you get it worse back, right? See the dust? Now I'm chewing sand. This is why my nose runs all the time, people. I have never worked so hard in all my life in so much dirt in all my life than I have in this house. Right. But this is better than living in an apartment. Right? I couldn't even afford an apartment. I'm sitting in an apartment. What would I be doing in an apartment? Going back out into the courtyard. You see the dust? You would think being overtired, stressed out, having panic attacks, you want to cry, you would just burst out in tears. No. Not happening, people. This is a really nice compost. This young man really did a good job. Definitely impressed with it. He didn't know how to make one. And then I just kind of gave him... Oh, there's a black walnut. And then I just kind of gave him some pointers, told him what I wanted. He did it. Did a good job. Okay. It's working. See? It's already almost half full. Whew. But of course it's not settled, right? Okay, so I've been washing windows. I have to take a Vim or something to that one. But as you can see, right? That side's done, that side's done. Now I'm getting up in here. I have to pull everything out. I have just a bit, I think I have just enough insulation for those two walls. Well, one wall and then that little bit. And that one over there is already done. Oh, I gotta go cover up that insulation. Started to rain just now. Anyway, it's all done. Did it in there. Pulled that out. Stuffed in there. It's good. We're good to go, people. Okay, so I managed to get some tomato plants in. Not that many, right? And then these are trees. Obviously, black walnut. Right, you can see. Right, here's another one. Filled up half of that compost over there. So that compost was pretty nice. And then we've got some more over here. A couple more trees. Eventually they'll go outside. You can see another one's popped up. So that's pretty much it. Got all the walls. Did everything I was supposed to do in terms of insulation.